to Bass and Bonsai. We are in the house. We're not out on the water. But we just came back from Rogers Sporting Goods. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing, kind of a unsacking, if you will. Show you guys what I got, kind of why I got it, and then I got to get ready to go to the gym. I might try to come to another live stream tonight if I get these reels that I've got to work on together. But let's just jump right into what I went to. The reason I went to Rogers again here lately, I've been making a trip a week because we're about ready to really get serious about fishing. But I bought another pack of the Baby Rage Menace because this color I can't get in that kind of similar shape, little small tail, in any of the goats because they just don't make that color in the goat from Z-Man in the last tech. So I noticed over the weekend I was down to like 1 or 2 of these in my pack, and I'm like, just in case, buy another pack. So I got another pack of those. So then, just because that I'm going to be trying, if you guys remember right, I bought last week, I think it was, I just bought 1 pack of the jointed structure heads in a bigger. I already have like the biffle heads in the smaller size, and I bought, I think it was 3/8 ounce. But so anyway, me and Charles went, and we were fishing fairly deep water, 15 foot or so, and I didn't throw this, but I was throwing my a few different, we were using jigs, and my half-ounce jig definitely did the job better than my 3/8 ounce jigs or anything lighter. So I'm like, I need to at least have a couple of these in my life, and I like this color. They got a little bit of bluish purple on the heads. Probably wouldn't matter if those things were, as long as they're not a color that stands out too much. But I just like the way these are made and the overall size. So I got those to try, and I'm kind of keeping my mess cleaned up as I go here. But so what I'm going to try to pick back up on, not that I ever lost it, but my game as far as throwing soft plastics again. Now, so it may be the billy goats, or it may be what I used to throw a long time ago. Now, not these. I've kind of, and I can't remember the last time I bought a regular size of these. These are my older ones, Smalley Beavers. If you guys remember right, I talked about, I just started using the Smalley Beaver, and that's sprayed grass, of course, one of my favorite colors, as trailers on my chatterbaits. And so I kind of just stopped buying sweet beavers and just stuck with Smalley Beavers. And then when I needed to throw just a soft plastic, I would throw them. But as you guys can tell, as what my intended use, going a little bit bigger, Smalley Beavers, not that I couldn't rig that up on something that monstrous, but so I needed to go back, right? But before, and I'm going to show you these, before I evolved into now which is basically these on a trailer, on the chatterbaits, or the goat cut down. This was another one, the riot baits, not the Smalley, the Little Fuzzy. So the Little Fuzzy, if you guys are also have the same idea in mind, if you're like, I don't like messing with the last tech, I don't like messing with skinny looking baits, what do you recommend to use or throw? And you could rig, you could go get wobble heads, or you could just get, probably, well, like you could rig these on a shaky head too. Like a two, maybe a 3/0 hook, something like that. So there is a Smalley Beaver, and there is the Little Fuzzy. The Little Fuzzy is going to move more water, but in my opinion, on the back of a chatterbait, it tended to catch. I don't think it got bit over the other one. I think maybe there's times one worked better than the other, but it stayed on the hook. It seemed like longer. These things are notorious for just not lasting, but they're an awesome bait, especially if you are throwing in any kind of cover, just rigging them by themselves, whether it be Texas rigged, like flipping, pitching kind of thing, and you want to downsize. Like you could rig up, you could find a small enough hook that'd work in there to still set the hook and kind of go power BFS fishing in a way. So anyway, I don't leave those out. So when I was up at Rogers, I had like 8 different packs. I'm like, I just want to see if I want to go here yet or not. So I picked up this color because I'd never tried this color before. I don't even know if it's, maybe it's a new one. Green Pumpkin Magic, and maybe it's not. But what gave me the idea is because I saw a color worm I'm going to show you here in a minute that is close to this color. So I thought, might as well go all out, right? So I bought a pack of the regular Sweet Beavers 4.20s. That's how indicates how long they are, I think, is what that's for. And they make a bigger one. They make a double wide beaver. I forget what they call it. So there you can see the size differences are pretty massive. Like, it's not that it's just that much longer, it's that it's that much bigger every which way around. Now you can run these, a lot of guys would run that right there, right on the back of your chatterbaits. I found I like the smaller ones because just like I like these, and I've done it for years now, well, I've done these for years. I don't know how many years ago I switched to run those on the back of my chatterbait because it's less resistance in the water, the bait's lighter, it'll get down lower, I guess. So like if I'm barely creeping that chatterbait, because I've always tried to imitate just what you're looking at here, creature bait, crawdads basically with chatterbait. But you can run these, and I may try it just to see, or if there's days where I feel like I need to let it ride up more, I may actually even want to get into the full size, the fuzzy beaver things here from Riot Baits and try those possibly. I just don't know if I'm going to go down that regular soft plastic rabbit hole because they all just fall off after like 2 dinks. You'll get 2 little dinks hit before you ever had a chance to get a big one to hit it. It's already lost that bait and you got to pull another one out of the package. And then unfortunately, well, fortunately, if you go by the Sweet Beavers, like look, there's a bunch in there. I'm going to say it's 10 for $6, but they don't last. Now the other bait I'm getting ready to show you, in my opinion, now I've watched Matt, I would have never bought these, but I have watched Matt do pretty good on certain days with this bait. So I bought the only color they had at Rogers in one of my favorite colors to try. They had California 420 and one other like a lighter, almost yellowish color. But sprayed grass, spicy beavers. Now, same price, you only get 6 baits. So almost just barely over half, right? You take one of those out and you're paying double the price for a spicy beaver. So if I like these, and I almost bought, and I almost bought the regular Rage Menace because I feel it's roughly the same size. Now you don't get as many colors. Reaction Innovation has the most, probably right there with the Robo Worms as far as the majority of color. Like they got a ton of colors in the Reaction Innovation. But I might also give the Rage Menaces a try instead of the baby Rage Menace, because I want to say you get like 8, which is at least a couple more, and it depends on how well they last. I don't think the Strike King plastics or these last real long. They're kind of like, they're not far off from Keytech. I know some of you are going to say, well, there's a certain, softness the plastic has to have to work right and stuff, but there were companies out there years back, I want to say it was either called Rhino Head or Hard Head or something, and there's still a few I've seen, I forget who I saw talking about them, that actually made their plastic. It started out like, I mean, hard, real hard, and then somewhere before halfway in the body, it just got softer. Now those would still, you'd get something and it would rip the appendages that were back there doing the work, so eventually it would wear out faster than any of your, like Z-Man or any of your newer Elastec baits that are coming out on the market. But it wouldn't just fall off due to that. Normally on these, before the appendages even fall, it just, if you have it rigged up, say you rig it up on here, Texas style, it just rips off the head. So then what I'll do, you can do typically, is bite that off where it ripped, if it's still hanging on in the back, that is. Bite that off where it ripped, re-rig it, get at least a few more times. But I mean, I've seen times where when I first started using these, I would go through at least 2 packs a day. Like I would go, if I didn't have 2 packs of the color I thought was working, which would either be the watermelon red fire or something. It had like fire on the tips on top of the watermelon red and June bug. Like I had to go with at least 2 brand new packs, or I felt like I wasn't going with enough baits to catch. Because I was catching little fish, and every once in a while I catch a big one. But so that's kind of why over time I'm like, I just kind of got out of it. But anyway, I'm going back in there. Right, we're going back in there. We're doing it. So what gave me the whole idea of reigniting this crazy soft plastic bait that don't last was when I saw that dude. If you guys remember, I just did a video talking about that. Used to be it for me. That was my finesse, my go-to. Times got tough before I started using any shaky heads or anything like that. Jean LaRue 8-inch hook tail or curl tail. I think they call it hook tail worm. But they switched on me. So that is not the original one I fished with. That one still works. That's still a capable worm. I could have just tracked down the ones I got from Matt or went and bought some more. I think Jean LaRue's still around making some, maybe. Maybe not the man, but the company. But I saw a bait that I was like, that color just reminded me of that. So I picked up this pack of these. Max Scent Kingtail. It's only 8-inch, but that is a way bigger worm than these. It's going to have way more water displacement, way bigger tail. Now, you could actually cut that out into similar, closer, a little bit softer if you want. So I'm going to try it like it is. I may do some modifications, but I haven't even pulled one out of the package. I don't even know if I want to. The other Max Scent, I have the flatworms. They kind of smell. And they're kind of sealed pretty good. So let's just pull them out. For those of you, and you guys comment if you've used any of these yet. I have not used them, but I would think that there's some of that magic is in that, because this old dude right here didn't have no scent, no salt, no nothing, and just could pull in some fish. So if I'm down there, and I always typically worked it slow, I just kind of drug it across the bottom on a Texas rig. So, get there, cut that tail. I could technically cut it down a little bit, or there may be a time when I just want to like cut it here somewhere and then put a slit in it and just let it flop with a very little tail, right? You could also do that. You could also just taper it to a V. It would work kind of like the little missile baits thing with just some, a little bit bulk to it. Technically, a guy could cut it down and never get it. So, anyway, everybody calls me when I start doing live streams. So we got it to try, but I went ahead instead of just that color only, and I saw that color. And this is the first color I saw even before I saw this one, or paid attention to this one anyway. So I got it in this color because, remember I talked about going back to green pumpkin, and we caught a monster on green pumpkin in 42-degree water temps, but green pumpkin magic. And I saw that, and the only color I really see in there, there's maybe a touch of black flake, but it's like the gold. So it's kind of got a black and a gold flake, and then, so this is pretty much the exact same thing, and they call it green pumpkin magic, and they call this green pumpkin magic. So the same company, same name, but this is a different color. Like if you can see all those different colors, it should work. And this one, I'll try to get it to flash. Like, there's only a couple. It's mainly that gold is what stands out, but it does have a little bit of like a black fleck in there. And I don't see anything else. Just 2 different like flecks, that mainly the gold metal fleck. The black is just like a matte. It's like not a bright. But then this has black in it too. So I can see a lot of black, like right there. If you just look at that one, it's hard to tell the difference. But when you look at all those different colors that flash through it. So these 2 colors, I have confidence this year so far. Now if I go out and I throw them, 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 and then I throw them, and I won't catch fish on them, they won't be in the boat. If I start catching fish, I may try to increase on those, or similar to that color. But I'm sure I'll catch some fish on it. I'm sure these will catch fish. I don't know how many fish they'll catch. But so that is the one I'm anxious to try. And I was going to get it last week. I wish I would have now to thrown it out there when me and Charles were catching the fish. But anyway, all right. Picked up the soft plastic, and I'm not even sure. I may try to throw this on a wobble head, but I may just go Texas rigging it because I still have enough stuff to do the Texas rig. But I don't know, you guys comment. How do you throw your worms? Does anybody just rig them up? And I mean, I could probably rig that up one. I got a pretty big, but my shaky head hooks, they're just not probably quite stout enough for the size of fish that may grab that. Just to get a good hook set. So anyway, hands stink. Oh my God. It does smell like something should eat it. So then, on to the hard baits. I flat had my favorite bait that tore him up was this dude. And believe it or not, this thing is only a week, 2 weeks old. I've only fished it for 2 weekends. I bought it brand new because I lost the actual hard knocker, which doesn't have that one knock. This was the only one that they had in stock at Tackle Warehouse. Rogers don't even carry them anymore. So I got a 3/4 ounce one knocker, and flat have started tearing them up again on my favorite color, Toledo Gold, in the Booyah Hard Knocker series. So I want to track down, I'm going to get another hard knocker. I figure I need at least 2 of each. So I'm going to get another hard knocker, or 2 hard knockers, sorry, 2 hard knockers and 1 more of these one knockers in this color. But while I was up at Rogers, I went ahead and I searched for what they had. Out of the Strike King variants. Now they had one close also in a 2-tap, but it was like $2 more. And I honestly, even though I've been catching them on this one, I threw my 1/2 ounce, the regular one, and I caught a 5-pounder on it also. So I'm very picky about, I think, this color, because I threw one of those and managed to catch another big one. So the main bait was that guy, and then but I also managed to do good with that guy. I threw, wait, Charles threw that. He didn't do any good with it. I told him, here, it's the same thing as mine, smaller, but then I got it. And he maybe wasn't, I was kind of yo-yoing it. He wasn't working it quite maybe like me, or just in the same whatever. But then I gave this one to Charles too, and I told him if he caught a fish, he could keep it, because I hardly ever throw it. But he didn't catch a fish on it. That's the, I believe they call this Toledo Gold, but it's just a little different. It's really not red. It's kind of an orange. It's not a true red, in my opinion. It starts to get there, and then it's more like a dark orange and a light orange. It's not really a red and a yellowish, almost brownish belly. So I got the Strike King one, and this one looks close. And it's hard to tell some of these colors when you're looking at them in pictures. So in person, of course, I should have took my bait up there with me just to look. So this one does have orange on the belly, which honestly could hurt it, but it could help it on certain days. Really, you guys know the deal. So 3/4 ounce. I know Strike King baits have been my nemesis here lately. So let's compare. They're not far off. Like, if you're gonna find one, like, that's the closest Strike King makes. And I could technically scrape the orange off if I felt I needed to. And they're roughly the same size, but they're gonna sound different. Now this is a bigger bait, and that's a smaller 1/2 ounce. Hear the extra, like, rattly sound I feel anyway. This sounds like in between. It sounds closer to a one knocker from Booyah than the, and it's not a 2-tap. The 2-tap sounds just about like this one. But the color is what I think is key on this rattle trap. I think the size helps a little. Just it gets down there faster, and when you do pop it, it does drop a little faster. So got that color to try it. But wait, there's more. It's like sham wow around here. Then I'm gonna end this video, and I gotta get ready. I gotta wash my hands first. Oh my God, wash my hands, get ready, go to the gym. But I've been debating on trying some spros. Of course, they didn't have any spro colors that I truly was looking at, but this color is not far off. So the arukushad 75, I've been debating on, because I kind of started to get a little confidence in a rock crawler. And I don't know, I just figured, like, Spro is still kind of a more known name nowadays than even Booyah when it comes, like, nobody's hardly keeping any Booyah stuff in. If you guys remember me talking about, I like the idea of jumping online or going to my local tackle store. So if I started having luck on these, I'd actually ask them up at Roger if they could start keeping in, you know, certain colors. And I'm sure they would if they made an order or whatever. Now they have this also in a kind of red with the chartreuse belly. And honestly, what I'm hoping is this bait lightens up. I may even leave it out in the sun. Set it one way one day and one way the other just to get it a little lighter. Now, in the camera, that looks a lot orange. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see. It's because that orange under it is highlighting it more. But what you have is the that gold and the orange is making the red look more orange than it is. But that's actually a black back with a more red than that. It doesn't look like it, but it is more red than that, but it's the other colors. But it's also I've got a variety, right? So I'm going to try them. The next time we go, I don't even know when it'll be, get on deeper water or wherever in the... This is typically more cold water. I really don't even go by the true spring because fall it can work also. Me and Charles, when I went down a few years back at that one strip pit, and I got the video. I was trying to do an outro. All I was trying to do was like, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Get a last cast in here. And I started just catching one bass right after the other at that RV park or the off-road park, they call it, or whatever, pit. Man, I was flat tearing them up on the actual hard knocker, not the one knot. Lost that due to the Arise reel. It's still sitting out there at that pit. I could probably go with the... Anybody do that magnet fishing? You guys ever see that? I'll go out there with the magnet. Get that little aluminum boat, flip it over. I know roughly where it fell because I was casting the same spot the whole day. And it broke off and landed over in that area. But I had found their eBay still sells them like $1 or so more than what they sold for. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Is Booyah a prominent thing at your local tackle places where you can still get a 3/4 ounce one knocker and a hard knocker, or Booyah baits in general? Because I looked at Rogers and they've got one Booyah hard knocker. It's a 1/2 ounce and it's white, purple, and with yellow on the belly. I forget what they call that, royal or something. And that was the only one with just a limited little supply of other Booyah stuff. I'm like, well, I don't know if they're phasing out Booyah or what, but I might need to start looking and putting some confidence in some other baits that are close. Or I'm just going to have to track down a bunch of 3/4 ounce Booyah hard knockers and send them to my buddy Norm and have them painted roughly identical to that. If I had to add anything, I would make it a little more yellow. That's why I'm thinking the one that they make in the Spro with the chartreuse belly might work. It might be a little too bright. But anyway, so we're going to try this dude out. You guys comment if any of you have used any of these. I've used the red eye shads. I've not used that color. So it'll be interesting to see. And they had this, well, not with quite as whitish of a belly, but they had a more red one with a little bit of orange, just like that. So basically, if they would have painted that the rest of the way almost red, and then it had black lines. And I just didn't want to spend too much money trying baits that I may not like. So I bought this one because I felt it was the closest to that guy. Now, I could always just paint on my own little black lines right by the gold ones with the Sharpie just to try it. If I go out and this one starts catching them and this one's nothing, I'll paint Sharpie lines on it, throw it out at least a few casts and see if that made a difference. Sometimes it could be, doesn't matter, just any of those, they just want to crawl orangish, reddish color. Other times, size, sound, and all. That's why they started making them so many different ways. Well, to make money, but they also understand that guys are out there and they're like, man, they only hit it with if it's making this sound or if it's only this size or whatever. So I don't know if I've ever caught a fish on this one, though, I'll be honest. I bought that one in that first craze of trying to get these when I couldn't get them. Went to a bunch of stores and tracked down Toledo Gold and or anything similar before I could get these ordered from, at the time Tackle Warehouse had them. And almost every color I bought just sucked that I thought was a similar color. Now Charles caught a fish. I didn't even throw it. Charles caught a fish Sunday on that dude. I didn't even throw. Did I even throw the white ones? I had one thing I did not throw that I kind of kicking myself now for not trying it. Was I did not throw my white 3/4 ounce booyah hard knocker. I don't think it crossed my mind to throw it. And I should have. It probably wouldn't have got bit, but I should have tried my big, huge chatterbait. The big jackhammer. If you guys remember, I bought that crazy big one. It was on sale at Tackle Warehouse, black and blue. So technically, if I'd put a big, one of those full-size goat on it or something, threw it out and drug it across, basically trying to chatter and tried yo-yoing just like I was with this. I know, and more, if the water would have been a little bit warmer, I probably would have tried it, but it didn't even cross my mind until after I got back. So anyway, if we go out again anywhere and I get on a hit with this or something, where it's that deeper stuff, that's the plan to also try the get that big chatterbait that I probably wasted my money on, but just try to get it in the mix. All right, quick unboxing. There you guys go. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Stay tuned. I will probably do another live stream tonight at some point, but I gotta go to the gym, gotta edit. I got all that footage still. You guys watched a video today where I used the Arise reel and caught a fish on. I was just kind of checking it out and I happened to catch a fish, so I thought, well, I'll throw that together in a quick video. I know Jay's probably finding it funny that I was fishing with the Arise and caught a fish, and it's actually casting good as long as I didn't cast it hard. I don't know if you can make out in the video. The distance was fine. I was casting as far as I really wanted to. But I threw it kind of hard the first time, and it almost started to fluff where Charles had it set. So I just didn't throw it hard again, but I was zinging it out there. And I think I was only throwing a 1/2 ounce. Charles said it was a 1/2 ounce jig with that little bit of a zinkers on it. Should have made it feel heavier. I think it was a 3/4 ounce is what it looked like and felt like to me. Maybe a total of a 1/2 ounce, but no problem with the street bass rod that I traded back to Charles. I've recommended you guys if they come in with they make a couple different sizes. Those are very good, but they're 3-piece rods. But the funniest thing is I think they're more sensitive than my carbon lights that are 1-piece. But they're just so for like bottom bouncing, that 3-piece, you think I don't want no 3-piece rod for bottom bouncing stuff. But I'm telling you, those rods are they're good rods for the money. They're cheap. They're like the CU double. They're like that little sleeper rod that's only $35-40, but will work and will get the job done. And if you're really in tight for space on traveling, carrying it, transporting, the 3-piece actually makes it probably better. But I'm like Charles, he wish it would just been 2-piece, so it makes it easier to put with the rest of your 2-piece rod. Is that it? All right, stay tuned. I still got to get this spool going. I got to put this on the MK9. And I was thinking about putting this on one of the other reels, but I haven't decided yet. Thanks for watching, guys. Get out, go bass a bondi, whatever you do. Make sure you have fun doing it. I gotta go wash my hands.